Hello, hello. Hey, Deadhead. Hey, Richard. Hey, lurkers. All right, we got 4 on right now. I'm gonna give it a little bit. Let some more people filter in, and then we'll get this thing going. Sorry for the weird day. We got hit by one of the strongest monsoon storms we've had in many years yesterday. Did a lot of damage around town, and just in our complex, it broke a couple of trees, knocked some fences down, tore some of the signs right off the buildings. Did some damage to our garden. Hey, Athena. We were having 80-mile-an-hour straight line winds for about 20 minutes. That was crazy. Yeah, it is that season for sure. We got some more rain today. Luckily today we didn't get it with the wind and everything. It was just a regular, more normal monsoon rain. Hey, David. Yeah, for anybody who doesn't know, that wind speed is almost the equivalent of an EF1 tornado, like the low end wind speed on an EF1 tornado. So imagine being inside a giant EF1 tornado for 20 minutes. And that's pretty much what we dealt with yesterday. All things considered, I mean, it could have been a lot worse, though. You're glad I'm safe and you're glad your coins are safe? Indeed, your coins are safe. They haven't gone out yet. I've got all the packages sitting right here. I'll be getting those out on the way soon. Got five packages as of right now that are waiting to go out. So how's everybody else doing? We got 5 people on. Let me give it a few more minutes. Hanging in there. Better than the alternative. Ugh. So we got hit pretty good on pre-sales this week. I think, if I remember right, there's only like 36 lots left. Let me double check that. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 14. Yep, 36. Out of it, started out with 65. And I hope you guys have been liking that I've been having or the way that I've been doing it for like the last 6 months or so. Maybe a little longer. Because for the longest time I was doing those 125 lot sales. But, you know, having to make sure I had that many lots all the time that didn't leave any room to really put, like, you know, a lot of much better stuff in there. So, cutting the lots in half to be able to have more better stuff. I hope you guys have been liking that formula a little better. And, you know, not having 4-hour streams is always nice. I still have the goal eventually. If I can get things built back up again eventually. For a short time, we were doing good enough that we were starting to go to actually doing 2 sales a week. We had like a big one, the big main one, and then we had another second smaller one. And I'm hoping eventually to be able to get back to doing that again. Just, you know, takes time to recover from everything that we've had to deal with over the course of this year. But that is still a goal. All right, we're up to 6 now. We give it a couple more minutes, then we'll get the beginning stuffs out the way. And thank you, sir. And I know it's rough for people that, you know, bought a bunch of silver when it was up over 100. Having it back down to, what is it, 58 and change right now. But for someone like me, that's going to help me to rebuild my inventory, having those lower silver prices. Because given the state that I was in, that was actually really hurting, making it hard for me to really get stocked up on silver. Hey, Larry Singh, you're a new name. Welcome. Or if you have been here before and I don't remember, I apologize. But welcome all the same. All right, let's get the beginning stuff out the way. For anybody new, payments made via PayPal. Use Cheapskate Coins at gmail.com and use goods and services only, please. We also have Cash App using the same email, cheapskatecoins at gmail.com. And we also have Venmo now, also at Cheapskate Coins. If you use Cash App or Venmo, it will say Louis Cachera. That's me. You are in the right place. Shipping is $6 to $27. $6 being little purple bubble mailer, $27 being a large flat rate box. If you want your package sent registered, there will be an additional $45 charge on top of that. It's the only way you can insure coins all the way through the mail. And keep in mind, if you do register, you will have to sign for it when it arrives. If you're new, you can get stuff tonight. You just have to email me by the end of the night. Your email has to have your personal info, shipping info, your channel name, so I know who you are, which payment method you're going to use, and what email you use for that payment method for invoicing purposes. If I don't get that email, you will not get anything, and we never ship without payment. And as always, look down in our description for all the rest of our rules and policies. Here's our Facebook link. If you're on Facebook, go give us a follow. Tonight's lot list is on there. This time it's not the top post, it's the second post down. We do put the lot list on there every time we have a sale. We also have a mailing list. If you want to be on the mailing list, shoot me an email, cheapskatecoins at gmail.com, and say, add me to the mailing list. If you're on the mailing list, you will get the lot list a couple of days before every sale, and once you get that lot list, you have the ability to pre-purchase items. It's just like our sales, first come, first serve, so if you see something on there, don't wait, jump on it. We do not charge right away for pre-purchases. We wait until the night of the sale, and then we invoice everybody together. It's also pretty much the only thing we use the mailing list for, so you're not going to get like bombarded with a bunch of mail from me. It's pretty much you're going to get the lot lists, and then if there's going to be like a schedule change for a sale or something, then I'll shoot out an email to everybody on the email list and let them know. That's pretty much it. All right, so anybody that's on here that's new, if I could ever get back to my normal schedule, I would normally be on Friday nights. Lately, just because things have been weird, it's been either Friday or Saturday. We're only doing it on a Sunday this week because last night we got blasted by the biggest monsoon storm Tucson's gotten in a long time. So I couldn't be on my computer. So that's why we're doing it tonight. And for anybody who is on the mailing list and looked at the lot list, you might have noticed there's only 3 World Silver coins on there this week. And that's because it's been getting harder to get it. But, alright, let's get this thing going. We are kicking off, as always, with banknotes. Alright. First one, I've got 2 of these available. They're $2 each. These are the 1987 200 dong Vietnam. Uncirculated. Two available at $2 each. Also, by the way, I do have a couple of the banknote albums still available if anybody needs one. They hold 102 banknotes. They're $25 each. If you get one, you will be automatically in a large flat rate box with it because that's the only box they fit into. So if anybody needs a banknote album, let me know. I do also actually have a couple that are, they're the same banknote album, but they're used and they're a bit beat up. As opposed to the others that are, you know, pretty much new quality. If anybody wants one of the used, bit more beat up ones, they're $15 each. Alright, moving on. Next one up, I've also got 2 available. These are the 1988 500 dong. Uncirculated, $2 a piece. Anybody? Also, while I'm thinking on stuff like that, I've still got like 2 or 3 of the PCGS boxes left if anybody needs a PCGS slab box. And I've still got airtights if anybody needs airtights. Alright, moving on. Alright, Next up, this one is also from 1988. This is the 1,000 dong. Uncirculated. Going for $2. Anybody? I don't know if that qualifies as a fancy or not. One starting off with 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe. I don't know. Alright, moving on. Alright, and then the last one from Vietnam. This is the also from 1988. This is the 2,000 dong. And this one is in one of those cool special sleeves that you guys were liking last time. Has the little map of Vietnam there. The little code that will take you to a website that has information about the country, history, all that kind of thing. Then of course the map, or not the map, the flag. Kind of cool little sleeves that they came in. And this one's going to Wayne. Congrats, sir. The next few of them are in those special sleeves as well. All right, next up is the 1994 100 sum from Uzbekistan. Uncirculated note. It's in the cool holder. It's got the nation's flag, the little code, the little country map. And it's a really cool design for a banknote. I thought that looked really neat. Went for $2. I know some people will probably jack the price up on banknotes just because it's in a special sleeve. Not me. This should be $2 whether it had the sleeve or not. Going to Wayne. Congrats, sir. It's kind of the same philosophy as coins, you know. For a slabbed coin, pay for the coin, not the holder. But since I'm the seller, I'm on the other side of that. You know, I'm sell the coin, not the holder. In this case, it's sell the banknote, not the holder. Next up, 2020 20 kwacha from Malawi. This would still be spendable if you went over there. I don't know what you could get in Malawi for 20 kwacha, but it'd still be spendable. There's your little country map. Your little code. Country map, or the country flag. Country fish. I don't know much about Malawi, but you know, if they find the training of teachers important enough to put it on their currency, that can't be a bad thing. We need to take teachers more seriously in this nation. Take them more seriously and pay them better. You know, they're only trying to train the next generation to run the freaking country. Nothing important. Right? All right, moving on. All right, next up. This is the 2019 to 2021 100 pound from Syria. In the cool little sleeve. Country flag, little code, country map. So this is the fractional serial number version of this banknote. There's a non-fractional version of it as well. I have no idea what the significance of that is. I know in some countries, if they have something like that, that's like our equivalent of a star note. I have no idea if that's the case with Syria or not. So if anybody does know the significance of the fractional over the non, feel free to let us know in chat. Hey, Bo. You're just in time, man. We're going through some more of the banknotes that have the cool little special sleeves on them. Right now, we're on the 2019 to 2021 100 pound from Syria with the fractional serial for $2. Yeah. Excuse me. And the one right before this, the Malawi one, also had the special sleeve, and it's still available if you wanted it. So I know you were liking these last time. That's what I was saying, is some countries do fractional as what our equivalent of a star note. But I don't know for sure if, you know, the Syria one is that case, so I don't want to say yes or no. But it could be. Because there is a non-fractional version of these too. So that could be the case. I don't know. But alright, last call on this one, then we gotta move on. $2. And going to Bo. Congrats, sir. Here's the Malawi one in case you wanted to grab it with the special sleeve. It's 20 quachas from 2020. Uncirculated, $2. So if you're interested in that one, just let me know. Yeah, okay. Malawi to bow as well. Alright, next up is 2014 one Hervinia from the Ukraine. Uncirculated, $2 in the cool little fancy holder. Hey, mean one. Anybody? No, we got rained out last night. We got a massive monsoon storm that knocked everything out last night. So we are on tonight. The most powerful monsoon storm that we've had in many years. At 80-mile-an-hour straight line winds for 20 minutes straight. It's like almost derecho level. Got 1906 in your nickel box. Nice. All right, moving on. Hey, Wilby. Haven't seen you in a while. How have you been? All right, last banknote for the night. 2011 through 2016 series. 1,000 pounds from Lebanon. In the cool little fancy holder. Going for $2. Currently in a bubble bath. You're living in luxury. Just in a bubble bath, sipping some bubbly. Anybody? Oh, candles too. Fancy. All right, moving on. If you decide you want any of the rest of those banknotes, let me know. We're on to coinage. I get some incense, add a little essential oil to that water. Heck yeah. Alright, we've only got a couple of world silver coins tonight. First one is 1944 florin from Australia. 925 sterling in VF, going for $28. Anybody? How's it going, Gold Maple? I'm hanging in there, surviving. All right, moving on. To the Netherlands. 1955, 1 gulden. 72% silver, AU, 16 bucks. Ooh, upside down. Starting to get a bit of toning on it. Going to Wilby. You got it. Ugh. All right. Next up is a 1944 10 centavos from the USA Philippines. Ooh, we need to focus. There we go. This one's an AU for 8 bucks. $44 Denver. Going to Wilby. Congrats, sir. Hey, Moose Sox. All right. All of the large cents went in pre-sale, and so did the Flying Eagle cent. So next up for tonight, we've got 3 Indian cents. These are from the early years. Kicking off with the very first year of the Indian cent. $18.59. This one's in a VG going for 20 bucks. First ever Indian cent year. Anybody? Going to Wilby. Congrats, sir. All right, next up is the 1860 pointed bust. This year had a pointed bust and a curved bust. This is the pointed bust version. It is in fine for 30 bucks. Anybody? These are all the years when they were still on those same planchets that the Flying Eagles were struck on. So these were what were known as the nickel bronze. Oh yeah. Your primary coins back then for most average folk were the pennies. Indian cents, the last year was 1909. All right, last call on this one, 30 bucks. Then we got to move on. Wheat cents went from 1909 to 1958. All right, moving on. All right, and then the last one from the Indians for tonight is the 1863. This one's also in a fine, going for 18 bucks. And this one's going to mean one. Congrats, sir. Here's your reverse. So you can actually see it. All right. M. You know one. All right, if anybody decides you want that 1860, let me know. All right, I know there were a bunch of people interested. If I would have had enough, I could have sold like 3 or 4 of each. But unfortunately, all of the penny rolls went quickly. They were all gone within the first 20 minutes of the list being out. And the 83 no cent Liberty nickel also went in pre-sale. So we are on to the Mercury dimes. About half the Mercury dimes went in pre-sale as well. But we are kicking off with the 1918. $90 silver and good, $7. 1918 plain date. Oh yeah, definitely. The teens, and then what is it? The 20 plane date, I believe, is the other really big one. If I'm remembering right. All right, moving on. To the 1924. This one's in a VG for $8. Anybody? I think it was to 45 or 46. I don't know. Let me look real quick. Yeah, 45 was the last year for Mercury Dimes. And then 1946 started the Roosevelts, which we're still doing almost 100 years later because they refused to change them. All right, moving on. To the 35S VG for $8. I almost called this one a fine, but I wanted to play it safe. Just because of the reverse. Not quite up to snuff enough on the reverse to be a fine. Different world back then. Hard survival, hand to mouth. Talking about in the 30s? So you're pushing 90? Or you're in your 90s? No, if you're that old, cool. I never thought you were... The way that you talk and everything, I never would have guessed you were that old. All right, moving on. All right, next up is 1936 Denver. This one does have a bit of damage, so I'm just doing it for $6. A little bit of dings up on there. So if anybody wants a cheap 36 Denver, here's one for $6. Going to mean one. Your son is in Iceland right now? Awesome. That's one of my bucket list places I'd love to see someday. So Iceland, New Zealand, and Egypt are my three main, and Antarctica. A lot of people think I'm weird because I'd like to see Antarctica. I doubt I ever will, but I'd like to. Next up, 1939 plane date. This one's in a VF for $9. Taking pictures of scenes and puffers. Freelances for Nat Geo. Oh, that's awesome, dude. I bet I'm a published photographer, but never for something like Nat Geo. That's awesome. All right, moving on. 1941. This one's in a VF for $9. Oh, okay. All right, moving on. To the 1942 plane date. VF for $9. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on these, so if you want one, jump on it. And don't forget the little people. Then she won't be buying dimes from people like us. She'll be buying like top pop dimes with all that new money. All right, moving on. She'll be going to guys like Rick. To the 1943 Denver VF for $9. I remember back when I used to be able to sell these things for like little bundles of 5 for like 15, 20 bucks. Now they'd be under melt. She'll upgrade to quarters. Well, hey, tell her to come check out my channel. She wants good prices. Always welcome the new folks. All right, moving on. $1943. This one is an EF for $10. See, I've never got the whole starstruck thing, and I've never found it weird that people who aren't famous are friends with people that are, or know people that are. Hey, Felty. Heck, I'm a nobody that sits in Tucson selling coins on YouTube, and I have a friend that's a semi-famous actress and model. That just means that she was genetically lucky enough to be pretty enough to be a model, and she was good enough at doing make-believe and memorizing words to be an actress. I do not. The only large cents I did have all blew out in pre-sale. All right, moving on. To the 1943 plain date. This one's an AU for 12. If anybody's looking for some nicer Merc dimes, here's an AU for you. You did indeed, sir. You got all of them. All right, moving on. So here is the best Mercury dime of the night. I guess you can almost say this is like one of the showcase items for tonight, because you don't see these very often. 1944 Denver BU full split band. $28. Somebody better grab this thing. That is gorgeous. And this is going to Fino. Gratzer. All right, next up, 1944 Denver, but this one is in a VF for $9. Anybody? Going to Wilby Gratzer. All right, next one up. 1945S. This is not a full split band, but it is a BU. Going for $20. And then I've also got a VF version of this one for $9. I'll show that after. But this is your BU. Not a full split band, unfortunately, because got to have that middle one too. But still a gorgeous Mercury dime. Wow. That is bling. And going to Fino. Gratzer. Alright, and then here is the VF version of that coin. Going for $9. If the reverse on this one would have been a little bit better, this one would have been an EF. Because that's an EF obverse. In my opinion. Or pretty darn close to it at least. Anybody at $9? That was random. Alright, moving on. Next up is 45 Denver. VF for $9. Alright, moving on. Alright, and then the last two of the Mercury Dimes are 1945 plain dates. There's one in AU and then one in VF. AU is $12, VF is $9. Here's the AU. And then here is the VF. Anybody? We've only got 3 more coins left after this. Then we'll be into the recap. I honestly kind of figured you guys would have got a sellout tonight. With the low dollar value of the entire list. We shall see. Alright, moving on. Oh, and then here's the VF version of it. This is the $9 one. Oh wait, no, that was the VF, sorry. That's the VF. That's the $9 one. This is the AU. That's your experience with celebrities? Yeah, the only one that I'm friends with is Jennifer Lyons. Alright, moving on. Yeah, they are. Here's how you spell her name if anybody wanted to go look at her. That's the only famous person. Well, she'd be more like semi-famous, but that's the only one that I know. We talk on Facebook every now and again. All right, next up, 1929 Denver Standing Liberty. The 25 went in pre-sale. It is a VF for 30 bucks. Yeah, unfortunately, she kind of got pushed into the eye candy role in everything that she was ever in. So she never really got a chance to get that like breakout role to see what she could do with a bigger lead role. But still, successful career as both an actress and a model. And she just, a couple of years ago, she just finally got married, and I've never seen her happier. So I'm very happy for her. Anybody? If anybody's in the Tucson region, I don't remember the exact dates, but the Tucson Comic Con is happening, and William Shatner is going to be there. Captain Kirk himself is going to be at Tucson Comic Con. All right, moving on. All right. Next up, this will be the other showcase item for the night. It's the only piece dollar that did not go in pre-sale. Both the 25s went, but not this one. This is the 1923 Plain Date. AU for 75 bucks. That's, let me see real quick. It's Friday, September 4th through Sunday, September 6th. So, you know, unless he doesn't pass away, or as long as he doesn't pass away before then, because he is in his 90s, then yeah, William Shatner is going to be there. Anybody? I was actually surprised when you did your pre-sales, Richard, that you didn't just grab this one too. All right, moving on. All right, last coin of the night. $1971 San Francisco Ike dollar. 40% silver proof. 20 bucks. Anybody? Wow, nobody wants either silver dollar. That is actually quite surprising. All right, recap. All right, for banknotes, all of the Vietnams, with the exception of the 2,000 dong, are all still available. So that's the 287 200 dongs, the 288 500 dongs, and the 88 1,000 dong. All $2 a piece. And then the 2014 one Hervinia Ukraine and the 2011 to 16 1,000 pound Lebanon. Both uncirculated for $2. Anybody on the banknotes? Ukraine going to Will Be. I just sold to Doug Harding. I've got some wiggle room on the standing lib, though. I can go 25 on it. It's $5 off. It'd be the best price I could do for that standing liberty. You got it, sir. Standing lib going to Dave Gersh for 25. All right. The only world silver coin still available is the 1944 florin from Australia. All right, it's $28. Let's see. What's current melt on that thing right now? See, current melt value on this is $19.89. I'll go $22 on this one if anybody wants it right now for 22. It's the lowest I could possibly go on it. $2 and change over melt. Anybody want this one for 22? Nope. All right. All right, and then we've got the 1860 pointed bust Indian sentence fine for $30 is still available. And then for the Mercury dimes, the 1918 plain date, 24 plain date, 35S, 39 plain date, 41 plain date, 42 plain date, 43 Denver, 43 plain date, both of them. And then everything from the 45S down is all still available. I'll do a bundle deal on all of those for $104. If anybody wants to take advantage of it, I'll do all the Merc dimes for $104. That makes it a flat $8 a piece. That knocks 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6, 7, 11, 13, 14, 15, 16. That knocks $16 off the top. If anybody's interested. So that's 13 Merc dimes. Including 2 AUs. And then, of course, the peace dollar is still available. 1923 AU. So last call on everything. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here then. Hey, everybody, thanks for coming out as always. Have a great night. Tell your friends. Let's continue to try and get some new folks up in here. Get this thing growing. As always, give me a little while to get the invoices out. And I will see you guys all next time. If we get enough payments in time, I will try and actually be able to do the next show on Friday. We'll see what happens. Hey, everybody, have a great night.